One day, my wife came home and said, I met this guy. That is, because my wife is a nurse practitioner, so she was at clinical rotation. She came home and said, I met this guy that was coming to talk to us about life insurance. And I was like, okay. She's like, I think you should meet the guy. I'm like, no, I don't want to meet another life insurance salesman. She's like, no. We talked about life insurance. This guy came. He's talking about some of the things that you've been talking to me about, finances and personal development. I think you should meet him. I was like, okay. They said, happy wife, happy life. So I said, let me meet this guy. Then Tenny walks in with this is a Chinese suit. Walks in my house with a lot of energy. Pops into my house. We start talking about life insurance. I'm bombarding with a lot of questions because at that point I had been a year in my career. I was looking for other options, so I started educating myself about finances. So I was educated. I asked him a lot of questions, lots of questions. He was answering very honestly and very open. I was like, oh, this is a good guy. This is somebody that I want to connect with. So we became friends and accountability partners. We were having meetings every Friday night. We meet at a coffee shop and play a board game by Robert Kiyosaki called Cash Flow. We were exchanging books, reading books that we're reading together, Cash Flow Quadrant, a lot of books, educating ourselves and exchanging that knowledge. So we decided along that path to partner up and build a business together. But we did not know what vehicle to go into. At that point, I was already investing in single-family real estate. I had invested in a couple properties, and I was a landlord, going through the headaches of a landlord. So we were exploring different vehicles to get into. We looked into Airbnb, we looked into assisted living, we looked into other things. But here's one fundamental principle that we learned along the way that we were looking for. Is anybody here familiar with the cash flow quadrant? The cash flow quadrant? You're familiar with the cash flow quadrant, right? Where you have the 4 boxes. You have the E, the employee, the S, the small business, the B, and the I. We knew our goal was to play on the right side of the quadrant. That's the B and the I. So, one day I'm driving in Bethesda, Maryland in the middle of traffic. While we're doing all this research, we looked at assisted living, looked at everything. He calls me, he's like, I bought this program, I signed up for this is the login and password, go listen to it. That date was January 30th, 2019. You can see it on the Carbon Technologies. He bought the program, sent it to me, we started listening to it. I listened to that program at least 20 times. What was the program talking about? That was the program that brought our awareness to this asset class, which is buying large apartment buildings. Why that made sense to us is because that business fulfilled the B and the I side of the triangle, of the quadrant. Because you're building a business and you are investing in assets. At that moment, we knew this is what we needed to do. And guess what? On February 2nd, 2019, XSITE Capital was registered. 3 days after we became aware of this program. Quick decision making. The moment we identified the vehicle, we moved in quick, and we've been running ever since. And I can't get rid of this guy ever since. He's been giving me a headache ever since.